Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This video will be a little bit different, and will be a little bit more philosophical, but still relevant because I will discuss what I start calling the biggest 21st blackmail operation, the most successful blackmail operation of the 21st century so far. I know we are 25, 26 years in the 21st century, but nevertheless, I think so far the most successful, the operation of the century, the blackmail. And that operation is Jeffrey Epstein operation. I am 98% convinced, 98, I still have two percentages. I'm convinced that what we witness in Iran is a direct result or consequence of the blackmail operation conducted by a foreign nation on the American elite. Do I have any evidence? No, this is just a philosophical video. This is just, a kind of a monologue. So I'm just talking to myself. And crazy as it will appear to be to many, this is what I think. This is my opinion as of now about why we are in Iran. And did you think what's going to be happening to us after Iran? Because Iran, and remember, or keep this in mind, Iran is not the end. No, Iran is a step towards something. Have you ever thought what is the next step? And that will be probably affecting you and I directly. I think that after the Iran operation ends, if it is successful for the guys who initiated and worked all these decades to succeed what we have in the Middle East, the tools of this little clique will turn around towards us. Towards us. I think we are the goal, not Iran. Iran is just a stepping stone. That's it. So let me tell you what I think about what's going on over here and how did we get here. I personally do not believe anything about Iran is a threat to us. Iran is going to have a nuclear weapon tomorrow. The Iranian people hate the American people. Those guys in charge of Iran are all criminals and all bad. And that's a clear and present danger towards the United States of America. I don't believe that at all. Why? Evidence do not support that narrative. That's a false narrative. But we have our elected officials who make decisions based on that narrative. Now, do they believe in it or they're blackmailed to believe in it? So let's start with 1963, about 1963, when, or let's put it this way, let's say 1962, it's even better, when Kennedy was still alive. JF Kennedy, so John Fitzgerald Kennedy, then the President of the United States of America, came and delivered a speech. I haven't seen the speech, I heard it only, in which he says about a monolithic group, very influential, very powerful, very well organized and funded, that works in secrecy. He was referring to a certain group. I'm not saying that's the same group the other guy was referring as the international clique. But nevertheless, at one point, Kennedy was assassinated, supposedly by Oswald. I also do not believe that he was the only one or the one who shot Kennedy. I don't know, as a free American, I have the right to be an imbecile. I mean, I will join a big mass of people, actually. So, with that, why was he killed? I think he was killed because he wanted to inspect the nuclear program of one particular country and told the then prime minister of that country that you cannot have an atomic bomb. That's what I think. Wrong or right, I don't care. That's what the evidence led me so far to think, not to believe, to think, to reach this conclusion. No other US president tried to stand and oppose this monolithic secret organization or the clique. I think the only one who even tried was George Bush, Herbert Bush, the first one who had only one term. Other than that, nobody dared. I think they knew something clearly that we didn't know, but now I think we do know, and that is Kennedy. Remember what Lyndon Johnson did the moment or after Kennedy was dead, still in the presidential airplane, sworn as the president of the United States of America, reversed certain policies that Kennedy directly opposed or supported, the other guy opposed. Then the guy was still warm in the morgue. They were taking pictures and this guy already reversed them. All right, Mr. Lyndon Johnson, I think he was one of the biggest pieces of garbage as a US president in the United States of America. And on top of that, remember, Lyndon Johnson called back the airplanes, the fighter jets that took off, I think, from Germany military base, air base, to save USS Liberty in 1967. They were going to save the USS Liberty from the distress call that the Israelis attack us. And he said publicly, I'm not going to embarrass our greatest ally who's trying to sink our USS Liberty. All right, move on. They, the clique, tried for many years to have the Americans clear the Middle East for them. Not for us. For them. We could have many friends over there and allies better than this sleazy, small, poor location. All right? Piece of land. That's it. The problem is we are infiltrated. We are very much infiltrated and owned. So that clique tried to get the United States of America to clear the Middle East for them. And it was that paper, I can't remember how it was, the American Century, something like that. Remember that one? I think it was Karl Rove and other neocons who wrote it, put it together, how the United States of America will clear the Middle East, starting with Iraq, and then going in the Middle East, and then eventually is going to be Iran. We are there. So that means this went over there. We cleared for them Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. If you want to go to Gaddafi, we can go to Libya as well. They cleared over there. The Egyptians are where they are. The Saudis are where they are. Qatar and all these Emirates, the Emirates and so on. They are owned. They are owned and they're sitting down because they know that if they don't do, they were tamed. Let's put it this way. The only rebel in the region, we're told, is the biggest terrorist state in the world that could not commit one terrorist attack in America. One. But he's the biggest now that he's attacked and is cornered like a rat. Could not commit one so far. But somehow is the biggest terrorist state. All right. So a lot of presidents were pushed into attacking Iran. Even Bill Clinton was pushed. Then you got the other imbecile, George W. Bush. And then you had Obama. And then you had Trump. And then you had Biden. And now you have Trump. And Trump is the pinnacle. I think that if Trump would not have been elected, whomever would have been in this position now would have been attacking Iran, regardless. This is not in defense of Trump, because Trump might do this because he likes it. Maybe he wants it. Maybe he really believes in it. My point is, this crescendo got to the point where whomever was in this position during the 2020, 2026, 27, 28 would have been an attack of Iran, regardless. This is my understanding, the way I think. But how did they do it? How did they pull it off? I think the Epstein files dropped the bucket, kicked the bucket, and the entire milk spilled. That's what I think. I think that this guy who got elected by the voting machine and the voting machine software that counted the votes right, correctly, he does it not only because he's under pressure. I think because he got already checked here, if you remember, like a warning shot. I think because he might want it. After all, he wants a peace prize, doesn't he? Through war. It sounds like accurate. So, I think this, remember, the blackmail operation of Epstein did not start 5 days ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, more than that. And you know what's interesting? This guy, Epstein, had so many doors opened. He's in the center of almost every chancellery, every presidency and prime minister in Europe and in the Western world, mostly. And we find out that somehow these files got leaked a little bit, but they're redacted. These are warning shots for these guys to run for cover and immediately do what they're supposed to do. This is what the Epstein files are right now that we are allowed to see. You see, we are seeing things that will not indict anybody. Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? All of those guys are all okay. Nobody was arrested. Nobody was interviewed or interrogated. You can say, well, Clinton, there was an exoneration for the Clinton family. He was asked this much of the information he was about to be asked out of probably all that. That was mild. He was exonerated. That's what it was with the Clintons, I think. Trump was warned with his courts during Biden's presidency, and he was allowed to win. And he said, you got to do it. And he is pressed left and right. Why do you think Trump is so sensitive, angry when people talk about Epstein? Why would he tell, what's her name, Marjorie Greene, that a lot of people will get hurt if we release the information? I want to find the truth. I want the pedos to be really, really punished according to the law and whatever they did. But somehow the information is withheld. By whom? By the guys who supposedly have the files. I think it's a protection. And that someone releases parts of this. There's so many pictures released over there. And none of them is like really incriminating. Oh, the guy sits with a girl. All right. Well, if you see me sitting next to a girl, does it mean I did anything with that girl? Well, you don't know who that person was. And it doesn't mean anything if I'm sitting next to a girl or even putting my hand around a girl. I'm talking about, you know what I mean. Nothing incriminating. You see Bill Clinton in a dress. So, what does that prove? Nothing. He's a little bit eccentric. The war started. All right. So, that's the first terrorist attack conducted by Iran on American soil, I guess. So, my friends, my point is this. The information that we are allowed to see regarding this Epstein operation is as big and as small as to not to hurt them and not allow us to see anything. But they know it. It's like a thief. When you steal something, and probably you stole something when you were a child, or you did something that you were not supposed to, and you walk like among people, and a person looks at you, you think, oh, he knows. They know. When these guys are providing the warning shots, oh, some extra files, some extra pictures, some extra names, redacted. They know this is warning shot for them. We don't get anything out of it. Oh yeah, nothing they can say, oh my God, look at that picture. Don't you think? I personally think that Epstein has videos and pictures of illegal sexual acts. I'm okay with adult consensual orgies. I have nothing against it. It's consensual, guys. Fuck every hole you got and more. I don't care. It's you. Use whatever you want, whatever tools you want to put them in your ass and so on and in your mouth and so on. I don't care. You know what I'm talking about? Illegality. I think they are over there, and I think that information is in the hands not only to or one source, which is, I think, a foreign nation that now comes back for the "you owe me" or else. I think some others have bits and pieces, whatever it is. This is what I think. So right now, what Trump is doing, I think is doing it either because this is the pinnacle and would have been done by anybody else, or the operation worked just fine, it was activated, and he has to do it. Or maybe he also like it. I don't think he's doing it because he like it and he really believes in what he says. I don't believe that at all. It could be part of it. He might think, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. Could be. Why? Because he made some statements in the 1980s where he said, yeah, I will bomb Iran and so on. Maybe he was just a candidate. Because you see, when you offer your services to these guys, you have to make some statements that you say, I'm available, able, and willing, or something like this. So I'm right here. You just call me and I'm ready. I'm already opening my legs for you. Ready. So this is Trump in the 80s. And so when he said, yeah, we're going to do this, we should take Iraq oil. And they said, no, we should not take Iraq oil. Yeah, we should invade it. But no, you should not invade. But he opened his legs and these guys were bent over. Let's put, in his case, bent over. So my friends, I think he might really believe in it, but he doesn't want to do it now or the way these guys wanted him to do it. Why? He wants to negotiate because it's uncertain that the war will end well for us or for humanity. I don't think he cares about us. I mean, really. I think he just wants it done in a weasel way. He doesn't want to be punched in the face or even worse, lose Barron or his businesses and so on, or maybe his life. So now you have it. I think so far this is the attempt by this clique for years to have the US presidents attack and destroy Iran, and now it happened to this guy. That's it. That's it. I don't believe anything in this guy saying that it's a threat and all that and the right to exist and all that. It's like you say, do I have the right to be alive? I don't have any right to be alive. I have no right unless I can allow myself to be alive. Because if I would have a right to be that, a criminal could not shoot me. I could not get in an accident. I have no right. It just happens. I have to be careful. I have to defend myself at every corner. Do you support Israel's right to exist? What kind of question is that? I don't even talk about this kind of thing. Oh, it was promised to them by God. I don't give a shit about their God or what their idiocracy they have. I don't care. Why should I respect that? If I should respect them, I should respect the Islam and Allah and others. Who says that is the only one that we have to? Remember, there are some people who see through this garbage. That's your delusion. I don't know, 3,000 years ago you couldn't explain something and you thought that the thunderbolt is your God farting or something. That's how you explain it. You were a goat herder. You had hooves. What are you talking about? After all, your deep covenant with that particular God is cutting around your penis. That is your covenant. Very deep, man. Very deep. Very deep. In the meantime, I don't know, how do you call them? The Babylonians have other things to do. They even have writing at that time, not to mention the Chinese, and so on. I mean, it's idiotic, incipient mentality, primitive mentality. That's what it is. But we're supposed to somehow agree with that. But they did it. You know how? Through Christianity. That's how they did it. Very nice and easy. All right, my friends. What's next? Iran is not the end game. Iran is a stepping stone. Towards what? I think that the next move these guys will do the clique, will be turning towards us. They're already preparing that. The social media, the AI, working with the Pentagon, Altmans, Zuckerbergs, and others. Look at them. They are in vast majority representing and in charge of our social media, going to be the algorithms. They're going to do task force for anti-Semitism. What do you mean a task force? Is that how do you call it? A Gestapo? What is special task force for anti-Semitism? I heard that they want to do in Chicago. What is that? What do you mean you're going to have armed people going in and kill you? Not yet. Not yet. They will start with the right to talk, to communicate. That's how they're going to start. So I think the next move will be on us, silencing us. Very easy. Remember Parler history? Parler? You couldn't see Parler in 12 hours, in 2 hours, I think. Parler was non-existent. Parler, it was something like, how do you call it, social media. There was conservative social media. They pulled the plug in 2 hours. In 2 hours, they couldn't access their communication towers. They were not available on the telephones anymore. They were blocked, non-existent in 2 hours. 2 hours. Apple did not know them. Google did not know nobody. So the same thing they can do with whomever. And we will be allowed to access only certain sites. The rest, you're never going to see them. I will be making videos, but you're never going to hear me. You're never going to see me again. They will let me do it, but you're not going to get them. You understand? This is the next step. The other step, we have to end game. They have to control us like slaves. Let's cut the crap and all the philosophical. This is what I think is going to be. The next one is going to be the property. Whomever has property is going to be clear. There's going to be a small clique that owns everything. We don't own nothing. We don't own anything, but we are happy. Remember what Mr. Schwab said in Davos? You will own nothing and you will be happy. This is the goal. When I heard it, I said, that's clearly put. I already knew that at that time, but I was like, nicely, these guys even have the courage, they have the chutzpah to come and tell you in front of your eyes, I'm going to get everything you got. You're going to be my slave. You're going to stay on my rent. You're going to work for me. You're not going to be able to disseminate information or knowledge with others because I will control it with AI and our algorithm. And that's it, man. You're not going to have anything, but you're going to be happy. Probably that's going to go with the implementation of those chips under the skin. If they want to cut your money, click. You want to do it, no more. You have nothing. Nothing. They will control us. That's the next step. That is the next step. That's where it's going. We have to be like hamsters, like mice on a spinning wheel. And when AI will replace us, we have to, feed the AI. How will we feed it? We're going to go and probably work to provide energy for the AI. We're going to be the lowest of the slaves. AI is going to be a kind of a slave. The robots will be a kind of a slave, but we'll be the lowest and the lowest. You know why? Because they don't care. They don't need us. They have the robots. Why do they need whiny people that might think? The robots don't think. They can make the programs, softwares that the robots will not think. Remember, AI thinks only as much information as you give the AI. If you have AI here and you say Germany bad, Israel good, and that's what it has, all the information pertaining to any subject regarding Israel and Germany is going to get Israel good, Germany bad. That's all if you fed them. If you give them more, well, wait a second, it's not really like that, and you add the information, the AI will be able to do it. But it depends on who gives how much information. It's like you have your brain. And let's talk about, Second World War. You have this much information on Second World War. You don't have this much, or you don't have this much. That's not what you have. Beyond this, you can't think more than this. That's all you have. Now, if you receive more information, someone gives you the AI, you are the AI, gives you more information, then you can, oh my God, that changes the attack on wherever. That changes. You can maneuver a little bit more. More information, you can get more answers and more nuanced. But that means you got the information. How did you get the information? You read, you watched movies, you watch speeches, direct experience, stories from people. That's how you accumulate knowledge. That's why when someone asks you about something, you say, well, let me tell you how it is. And you're more nuanced than others or less nuanced than others according to how much information you got. The same is with the AI. How much you get AI, that's how much is moving around with that information. So that's going to be the end game. When they will be in charge of us and we will not even know who they are. Or if we know, we don't know where they are. That's how it's going to be. End game. Thank you very much for being with me again today. That's what I think. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.